we're ready.
The district of Papakura in New Zealand faces the problem of bad road conditions during heavy seasonal rainfall. Mirror News of July 6, 2009 reports that every year the region witnesses an average of 15 road accidents on a rainy day. Advance of July 1, 2009 reports that the Papakura District Council put up a billboard to try and reduce the number of road accidents, specifically during the Easter holiday weekend. This was because of an understaffed police force and hospitals during the holiday period, and because the Easter holiday weekend was right in the middle of the rainy season. This billboard has the picture of a cute young boy with a tagline that reads, "Rain changes everything. Please drive to the conditions." And rain does change everything. When it rains, this billboard collects the water, dyes it red, and releases it from his face, giving the impression that the boy is bleeding like a road accident victim. This billboard tries to imprint on drivers the importance of driving according to the wet road conditions through a gruesome but extremely realistic portrayal, prompting us to ask today's research question: how does the bleeding billboard encourage driving reform? And to answer this question, we will take a look at Caitlin Tonker's debate what ought to be, the comic frame and public moral argument, as published in Winter 2002's Western Journal of Communication. Tonker builds a model based on the Burkean concept of comic framing. This model is ideal for our analysis because it works on the assumptions that humans are fallible and that social ills, like reckless driving in the rain, are the result of human errors and not evil. Today, we will take a closer look at Tonker's model, apply it to the bleeding billboard, before finally drawing two critical implications. Tonker's model uses three tenets: comic clowning, identification, and perspective by incongruity, in order to explore how the comic frame can be used to unmask and reform social issues. Let us begin with comic clowning. In a rhetorical sense, comic clowning has nothing to do with humor. Instead, it is about pointing out follies of human behavior by taking them to an extreme. By taking problematic roles to the extreme, the clown is able to unmask the dangers of a social issue. The 1980s anti-drug campaign starts by showing a frying pan and then equating it to drugs. Then, an egg is shown frying on the pan, with the narrator saying, "This is your brain," or drugs. This message forces viewers to associate drugs as something that fries their brain. This is an extreme example, but it helps unmask the dangers of a social issue, drug abuse. The second tenet is identification. Tonker argues that individuals identify with each other if their ideas are joined. A point of identification provides the community with a shared interest. This shared interest allows its members to probe social issues. Alcoholics Anonymous is an example of identification. In their website updated daily, AA aims to allow men and women to solve for their common problem of alcohol addiction simply by sharing their experiences. This shared interest allows its members to address an important social issue. The final tenet is perspective by incongruity. This is a creative way to compare two concepts that at first seem unrelated. Perspective by incongruity jars the public's perceptions into new ways about which reality is constructed, encouraging them to reclassify their outlook on the social world. This cartoon shows an oil drill in the middle of a forest, forcing viewers to create a direct link between increased oil drills and their impacts on forests in particular, thereby challenging the public's perception. Now that we have a better understanding of Tonker's model, we can apply it to the bleeding billboards. The first tenet is comic clowning. The bleeding boy is an extreme example of the negative effects of unsafe driving practices in the rain and is able to unmask the dangers posed by rain to both the driver and his passenger. So the bleeding billboard meets the tenet of comic clowning by using an extreme example that unmasks the danger of a social issue. The second tenet is identification. In a predominantly Caucasian Papakura district, The young boy looks like just another kid from around the neighborhood. So drivers can easily identify with the billboard as a depiction of their own society. When it rains, the boy starts bleeding, almost like a road accident victim. So the drivers can identify with the billboard as a depiction of their current situation. The billboard not only means a tent of identification, but it also helps drivers to identify themselves with the social norm of safe driving in the rain because they have a shared interest of preventing the bleeding scenario from happening. The final tenet is perspective by incongruity. Well, billboards usually don't bleed. And our conventional image of a child is not that of a bleeding one. So the billboard jars the public's perception, encouraging them to make a new link between rain and road accidents. So the bleeding billboard meets the tenet of perspective by incongruity by challenging the public's perception to creating new ways to visualize the dangers posed by rain to them. Now that we have applied the bleeding Tonker's model to the bleeding billboard, we can return to our research question. How does the bleeding billboard encourage driving reform? First, drivers can easily identify themselves with the comic clown in the image, and this instills the fear of driving in the rain in them. However, drivers have to first slow down to get a better look at this graphic image. By instilling a fear after that, the billboard prevents drivers from accelerating back to dangerous speeds even after they have passed the billboard. Second, the blood is attention grabbing. However, it only appears when it is raining, thereby challenging the public's perception into making a new and immediate link between rain and road accidents. Switch magazine of July 8, 2009 explains that many critics feared that this billboard would be a huge distraction, especially in the rain. However, the combination of drivers slowing down and their increased awareness had a profound impact. That year, Papakura district witnessed heavy rainfalls throughout the Easter holiday weekend. But the number of road accidents fell from an average of 15 a day to 0 for the entire weekend. So this billboard successfully encouraged driving reform. After seeing how the billboard encourages driving reform, we can draw two critical implications: its uniqueness and its immediate nature. First, the billboard was unique and successful. So other campaigns should strive to use the comic frame in order to be as effective. But it was the uniqueness of the approach that made it a success. So subsequent campaigns will have to continue to evolve in order to address social ills successfully. The second implication is the immediate nature of the awareness campaign. The campaign was successful because it drew attention to an immediate problem by using a gimmick that coincided with the issue. The billboard made effective use of the comic frame in order to ask the audience to make a small but immediate change. Not to change anything tomorrow, not to make a change in their daily habits, but rather just to slow down now because it is raining. This technique won't be effective when dealing with less immediate issues. For example, similar gimmicks to campaign against issues like drug abuse, music piracy, or anti-smoking won't be as successful. While the comic frame is an effective way to engage an audience, different tools will need to be developed and employed when the reader needs to address less immediate social issues or ask the audience to make a long-lasting change in their lifestyle. Today, we took a closer look at Tonker's model and applied it to the bleeding billboards before finally drawing two critical implications. This billboard was able to successfully limit the number of road accidents in Papakura district. But similar techniques can be employed all over the world, specifically in issues where a small correction on our part can make a big change for society.
9:58. That is a lie, 9:22.
Okay.